Today we're going to be talking about New World and how it's doing 1 month after its paid expansion disaster. So let's take a look at New World database and see how the player counts are running compared to the previous 30 days. As you can see, it's on the downtrend. It's not quite the sharpest drop that I would have predicted, but it's still pretty bad. So on the 5th, you can see 42,000 average. You know, it kind of jumped up there, 44,000 on the 15th. And what's interesting is this game is it's like a Sunday game. Everyone plays on Sundays. It's really interesting. But if you can look down here on the 4th, which is officially 32 days after launch, 24,000 average. We got, yesterday 25,000, 26, 27. It's dropping fast. And why is that? We're going to talk about all the bugs. And there's a lot of bugs. So let's just get straight into it. Now, I want to show you guys the Steam chart too, because this one is pretty big. So this is interesting, right? You can see here, this is around the time when the expansion was getting close. 21,000 average players. Jumps up on October 3rd. That's when the expansion hit, 55,000 average players. And then you see these little humps here, right? And I'm going to talk about what these are. Now, each time these little humps, these are on Sundays. And the reason why there's more people on Sunday is not because of what you think. It's not because people, have the day off. It's not because it's the weekend and no one has to work or whatever. It is because on Sundays, bots are not being policed by AGS. For whatever reason, the people in charge of dealing with bots take the day off on Sunday. Sunday is a botter's paradise, and if you play on Sunday, if you want to play this Sunday, go out into the starter zones, into the low-level zones, even the high-level zones. You're going to see a ton of just stupid, spammy, crappy, stupid names that don't make any sense, and they're going to be camping resources left, right, and center. It is a plague and a huge problem on the servers. I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later in the video. But boy, oh boy, this is bad. So the first bug I want to talk about today is the more than 5 people in a dungeon bug, okay? So there is actually a Reddit thread that talks about it here, and essentially, the game for the first time was actually fun to play, because instead of having 5 people into a dungeon, you can have 20 people in a dungeon, and wouldn't you believe it, Amazon no likey the fun, so Amazon temp banned everyone that participated in this fun little, I wouldn't call it an exploit, okay, I would say it was, like, who cares? It's a dungeon. Whoop-de-doo, yeah, people are getting loot and stuff and more items than normal, but it's fun. It's like a little raid. It's like you're choosing to raid. Hell, I play a game called Albion Online, and we could cram, like, 200 people into a solo dungeon if we wanted to. There's no reason to do so, but it's still fun to do, right? So these people were having fun, streamers included, YouTubers included. Now, the top streamers, the privileged streamers, the ones that get all, the pats on the back, the ones that actually work for Amazon Game Studios secretly, and moonlight as a YouTuber, possibly more on that later. Those guys didn't get banned. Those guys didn't get suspended. No, even though they did it openly on stream. No, the normal people, the regular people that run channels and streams got temp banned. But I'm not sure if this is fixed, because I never did it. But I did have a lot of people talk to me about it. Next up is another bug, which is a funny one here. I just got to show you the screenshot. There is a bug that prevents max weapon leveling up. Now, my weapons are all maxed out. I did it way early on. But essentially, this guy's, his musket is level 19 out of 20, and he cannot advance to the next level. This is not a display bug. This does not mean if he kills one more enemy that he will suddenly hit level 20. No, he is stuck at level 19 forever, and this is not getting fixed on his account. His character is basically dead at this point. His character can never ever level this to 20. They will probably never fix this. There are more bugs too, like being stuck on startup. A lot of people. Now, I don't know who the hell takes a picture with their phone for their computer. Just use print screen, damn it. It's way easier. I don't know why the hell are they doing it like this. But essentially, a lot of players, not just this guy, but a lot of people are experiencing this bug where you launch the game and it just doesn't go anywhere. It just gets stuck. There's also people that crash on loading screens, and this has been around in the game forever. Now, again, this is just a really little baby, tiny Reddit thread, but there's a lot of people complaining about this one, that the game simply crashes on load screens. They have to relaunch the game, and, when you relaunch the game, it might get stuck on the startup, and, 20 minutes later, you just play something else, something that works. So Another one too is a lot of people might know this one, the Spear Infinite Chain Stun Lock. You can use this to farm world bosses that are stunnable and lockable. You can use this to farm inexperienced players that know how to dodge out of it, which there's a dodge bug, by the way. I'll talk about that in a minute. But essentially, they have never tried to fix the infinite stun lock spear build. It's still in the game. It still works. You can still farm with it. But the only time it doesn't work is when the hitbox gets an error, because you have to throw the spear at the target to knock them down on their back. And sometimes the spear will, like, get stuck in the air and freeze in place and not hit your enemy. And it's really frustrating, and then the world boss just kills you because you're not supposed to be soloing the world boss, but whatever. So there is a cash shop emote. Then this one frustrates me. This is some greedy stuff right here. So I get that this is an emote that's only meant for Halloween. How about, listen, this emote, you pay 1,000 Amazon game coins, whatever these are called. I forget the damn currency name, okay? I don't use the cash shop. I don't spend real money on this game. But it lets you do the Witch's Broom emote, where you ride on a little broom and you hover around, you kind of float up and down. And when you pay real money for this emote, it's only good for 24 hours. And then after that, your money is gone, the emote is gone. You know what, Amazon? How about instead, you let people use this during October, and then you lock it after October, where it can't be used until the next October. All right, you know, that would be like a little bit more fair, but not giving someone 24 hours to float on a broom. That's stupid. No, like, only the super wealthy are going to buy an emote they can only use temporarily. This is just ridiculous. This is just insane. It's crazy. I can't believe this. So there was recently a potion nerf, and it makes Outpost Rush miserable. It makes Outpost Rush awful. Alright, so range has always been dominant in Outpost Rush, aimbotters included. With the potion nerfs, you get shot a few times, you're basically dead. You're basically useless. If you don't have a healer, you're screwed. No fun allowed. There are certain weapons, or not just weapons, but armors, that cannot be upgraded to 700 gear score, but others that can be. And there's no way to tell, without actually wasting time and effort and energy, to get them to level them up, and for whatever reason, like, it's a bug. You're supposed to be able to upgrade it to 700, but there's, like, gardening gloves are one of them. You waste a bunch of resources leveling up your gardening gloves because you like the look of them or whatever. You just want to be chill and funny and have a PvP glove that's called gardening glove, right? And it caps out at 655 for some stupid unknown reason. No one knows why. It's a bug. Hopefully it's a bug. Loading screens. If they don't crash, and if you don't crash or get stuck on startup, you might get stuck on a loading screen forever. That means when you teleport to town, when you enter a dungeon, when you zone into a different instance, when you enter a war, when you go to Outpost Rush, when you go to, you know, any of that kind of stuff, you could get stuck on it forever. And then you're down a person for a dungeon or whatever it is you're doing. Also, arena players, oh man, arena players. You know, let's go back to this screen. Arena players have a limit of 40 matches a day, and all the people that I know that really enjoy Arena, you know what they've been doing? They just make a new character and level that up, so they have 40 extra Arena matches they can play on that character. And one guy I know, he even got a second Steam account, so he can play even more. Why is Arena limited? I don't know why. What they want, you know why? Amazon wants you to stop doing Arena. They want you to go play the rest of the game that they built. They don't want you wasting your time in Arena. So tanks, lately, as of the recent patch, they've been having a problem holding aggro for more than 1 second. And these are not newbie tanks, these are not people that don't know how to play, no. These are maximum geared guild company tanks that know what the hell they're doing, they have the best gear in the game, and they do their taunts, they pull aggro, they threat dump essentially, and they're not holding aggro for more than a second. Something is going wrong, and this happened a few times before, way back in the day. It was quickly fixed, but right now, it is running rampant. If you're doing dungeons, you better beware. So, running mutations also. Let's talk about that real quick. It is the only real way to get good gear, and it's faster and it's more efficient than playing thousands and thousands of PvP matches. Some Redditors have done the math. It would take you like 3,000 PvP matches, Outpost Rush, Arena, etc., to be able to even come close to the gear that you could get by just running level 25 mutations. Like, you're basically forced to PvE to PvP in this game, and you know, that's okay. You know, World of Warcraft did that. I'm okay with that, but a lot of people aren't. So I just want to point that out. The house scoring system, now this is something that doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect gameplay, but the house scoring system was never revamped after all these years. It was never tweaked. It was never fixed or after the exploits, like stacking a ton of items. And not that this really matters. I mean, I guess if you want to show off your goofy house in town or whatever, but you know, that kind of wore off after the first couple months the game's been out. I haven't used my house in so long, guys. I don't think I've done anything with my house in like a year. I don't even like pay the tax on them anymore. I can't even get in them. And no, I don't care about the trophies enough to really care. It's such a tiny little boost. It's not worth the gold, guys. It's just not worth the gold. Anyway, FPS, frames per second, is tanking across the board for most people. When you compare your frame rate from when the game came out to how the game is now, it has gotten way worse. Games are supposed to be more optimized over the years and run smoother, not get worse. So what's going on? It's because Amazon sucks at coding their game. Simple as. So, this is a fun one. A lot of people have reported that if you leave, like, say you have the game running, and you go to Steam, and you leave a negative review on New World, that the game will kick you out for third-party software. I'm not making this up. There's a lot of people that are claiming this, right? And I've seen it. I've seen a clip of it. It's so funny that if you leave a negative Steam review while you're playing the game, it kicks you out, claiming third-party software. People have a bug right now where they can't make dungeon lobbies. They just can't make them, and they log out, log in, uninstall, reinstall, all that stuff. Still can't do it. The bug has to do with coding on their character. Man, what a junk game. So, there are people getting permabans right now for accepting trades with other players, strangers, that duped honing stones. And there's still a lot of working dupe methods, but this specific dupe method is easily trackable because it doesn't perm the items. I know the ones that perm the items. I'm never sharing those, but essentially, these people used an old dupe method that came back to the game as of the recent patch that was fixed, but now it's unfixed. And they duped a bunch of honing stones, and they just passed them out to everybody. And everyone that accepted that trade is sitting on a permanent ban, possibly never going to get to play the game ever again. They didn't dupe the items, they just simply accepted the duped items through trade. I mean, if someone opens trade with me and gives me a bunch of crap, I think it's because, you know, they watch my YouTube channel and they're giving me free stuff. I don't know. Whatever. So here's another fun bug, and this is the weirdest bug. This is like, who dropped the ball on this one? I think someone at the company is trying to sabotage the game. Rings and earrings, the crafting materials required to make them got swapped. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but yeah, they got swapped. It makes no sense. Why? Who did that? Did someone like delete some code or something? So here's another fun one. Attribute points. There's a bug right now where when you die or you change zones, you change instances, you go into Outpost Rush, you go into a dungeon, that you're losing your attribute points from your gear. And the only way to unbug it is to swap your gear, take your gear off, and put it back on. And every time you die, it rebugs. Not for everybody, but for certain players. It's quite frustrating because that's hundreds of stat points that can really mess with your character. So if you're wondering why your character suddenly has less HP and stuff, that's why. It's a bug. The dodge bug is back. This is a really old bug from beta and the very early release of the game, where players simply can't dodge anymore. You can log out and log back in, and you can't dodge. And I know how to fix this, and for whatever reason, Amazon hasn't told anyone how to fix this, but I know how to fix this because I played back in the day. So if you get the dodge bug, where your character simply can't dodge, you have to log out for, 10 minutes. This will, fully, log your character out and not temporarily log it out, right? Once you log back in, you will be able to dodge once again. And no, this is not the wall artifact. This is nothing to do with the wall artifact. This is a bug, okay? Epic weapon quests are being removed in December. Why? Why would you remove that? Why are you just removing content from the game? That's so dumb. So, by the way, you might want to go do those right now, or you won't ever get to do them ever again. Bots are a huge problem in this game, and they are sapping resources at an alarming rate. There are bots at, okay, you guys in Europe don't have bots. You guys in the Southeast Asia servers probably don't have bots either. On the US servers, there are bots everywhere, and they're taking all the resources. It's so hard to find resources, right? So here's the thing, right? But the bots aren't listing the resources for sale. They're hoarding them up. They're waiting for the prices to rise in the market. even though they're already pretty cheap in the market. At least on some servers. I've checked like 4 servers today, and man, there's some cheap resources. But when I'm playing, the bots are hoarding the resources. They're not selling it. That or they're selling it to a private person. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're not putting it on the market. That's for sure. Maybe they're at their max listing rate. I'm not entirely sure. But what this means is for you regular players that want to go out and gather, you can't because the resources are simply not there to gather because the bots took them all. And they are constantly camping them, so good luck. Now, gathering since launch has been heavily nerfed. If you aren't aware, I know some of you guys don't gather anymore, but hey, I do. And boy, oh boy, is it bad. Like Rawhide, for example, you get way less rawhide than you used to. Like, look at my old rawhide farming videos. You can farm like 17,000 rawhide an hour. Good luck farming 2,000 to 3,000 now. That means it takes you 6 times longer to get the same result. Man, this sucks for anyone that didn't max out their crafting way back in the day. All right. Market flipping is reportedly killing servers, and I actually killed a server of my own by doing this. What market flipping is when you buy out the entire market because you and your guild, your company owns the entire server and taxes everyone, so you get millions of gold like every few weeks, right? But you can just buy out the whole market and relist everything for double the price, and then rinse and repeat every week until people simply stop playing. And this has killed a few servers, and it's continually strangling the few that remain. This is not on every server, of course, like on these really high pop servers here, it's not working. But on these lower pop ones, like these poor souls down here, like Leo, oh man, Leo's getting strangled, okay? Phoenix and Pollux, they're dead. They're basically done. There is a monopoly on the market, and if you're not part of it, good luck ever buying anything ever again, unless you go manually farm it. And oops, the bots are doing that. Oops, too bad. All right. Finally, this is a really bad bug. This is the last bug I want to talk about. There's a lot more bugs, but this video is getting kind of long, and this is the most important one. There are people that quit years ago. They quit over a year ago, and they wanted to try out the game. They're bored. There's nothing to play right now, so they decided they'll buy the expansion and play their character that they leveled up and, you know, maybe have some stuff on. So, they can't access their characters because the world their character used to exist on never got transferred whenever they did server merges. So when they log into their character, it says that the world that they belong to is null or void. And what that means in computer speak is that it does not exist in the game's code. So when they try to log in, their character is not allocated to any worlds at all, and you can't transfer a character without moving it from one world to another. But if you're not in a world, you can't put it on a new one. At least we can't, at least not from the menus. So, if you contact support and ask them to help, well, you guys know that support is completely automated and you'll never reach a real human being. So these people simply can't play the game. They can't play their characters. Their characters do not exist because they're in a void world that, you know, has been deleted from the servers. And yeah, they simply can't play the game. They bought the expansion, they came back to play, and they're not allowed to. And Amazon will not fix this. They will not help them get their characters transferred. And there's a lot of people that are having this problem. So yeah, the player population, it's really starting to tank. As you can see here, they're like, it's dipping hard. It's like hard dipping, right? And yeah, it'll bump back up on Sunday because all the bots will be on. But guys, this game is, I weep for this game, bros. And I want to make a little clip about YouTubers, how the only YouTubers still making content for this game are ones that have over 100k subs, or ones that have under 1,000. There's like no in between. Oh man, but I decided I'll leave that one out. Anyway, that's the video. Listen, a lot of people hate that I make negative videos about New World, and so they downvote the video. What I need you to do is, you know the truth, you know that I am not an Amazon shill, I am not being paid by that company to make these videos, I am just a gamer, just a dude like you, who makes this out of passion. Please like the video to help fight all the rampant fanboys and the Amazon bots that they're going to send after me and do MTurk shit so that they can try to bury the video. With that said also, on the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. If you don't click it, then this game is done for. You have to click the video or this game dies. That's just how it is. I would ask you also to subscribe, but I don't really make New World content anymore, so if you want to, you don't have to. I'm already at 100k subs, I'm fine.